Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Travel in the province, out in the country, outside the city, going into the city. Anyway, you take whatever mode of transportation you can find. You ask the locals what's available. Tricycles, motorbikes, habal, taxis, buses, whatever, jeepneys. You ask around, you ask them what the rate might be, and you go from there. Some of you will enjoy the ride along, the look through this province. Consolacion is a city, town just north of Cebu City. And this is a bit of a, I don't know, back road, maybe you'd call it. It's not the main road, obviously. But we're going to go down through. It's going to get a little rough here for a little bit, and then we're going to come out to the main road. And there we're going to find another couple of motorbike drivers, and they're going to take us into Mandaue City. And this ride, this first section of this ride, cost 30 pesos each, about 60 US cents each. And I just did a video about the house we visited up there, house for sale, and going up again soon, I think, to look at lot for sale. Very good price up in that area. Foreigners can't own the land, but they can lease the land. So, hello. Anyway, it's interesting once you get off the main roads, and once you get out of the big cities, things change rapidly. The mode of transportation and the cost of living. Generally, your cost of living goes down, although you're going to find that you need to go into the big city to get some things. Many of the smaller malls in these towns do have most of the things that you need, but you're going to find, if you're a foreigner, that once a month or so, you're going to want to make a trip into the big city, to the big malls, to the S&Rs, the other stores that are more similar to the Costco membership store, those types of things. I believe. Look out, we're going to go down this. It's going to get real rough real quick right here going down. The battery on my GoPro camera was getting very low, so I had my Canon SX70 Super Zoom, and I'm on the back of this motorbike, and I'm holding the camera up above my head trying to get this video. The image stabilization isn't quite as good as it is on the GoPro, which is excellent. Anyway, lots of friendly people. Hello. Virtually everybody out here in the Philippines, my experience, if you smile and say hello, good morning, good afternoon, they will smile and greet you back. And even if you have time to chat, they'll be happy to chat with you as well. Now we're just about coming out to go over a little bridge here, over a little creek or river, and we'll be out on the main road, and we'll very quickly, we had a couple drivers that were looking for rides, looking to make some money, and negotiated from here on into Mandaue was 100 pesos each, and you'll get a look at how long the trip was. So not a bad deal, about $2 US. They had tricycles and a few jeepneys running out here as well. My experience in the Philippines is if you're looking for a ride, motorbike, taxi, whatever, you stand on the side of the road, you hold your hand out or up, and somebody will see you. Here's a guy coming here. He's coming over. He sees us. This rider's looking for a second person because we've got two of us looking for a ride here. It took some time to negotiate this, and the one guy was too far. He had a pizza coming. In fact, it was delivered while we were standing there. This guy wanted, I think, $2.50 a piece to take us all the way into Cebu City, which would have been even more than the taxi. Would have been 500, of course, pesos, $10. And so we rode on into Mandaue. There's an issue as you cross. There's more checkpoints once you get into Cebu City from Mandaue City, so they were a little bit concerned about going all the way in. They weren't sure what the checkpoint situation was. Just by chance, my taxi driver today was telling me about a property up in this area at a very good price, kind of a fire sale type price. And somebody he knows who has some issues, some health, medical bills, those types of things, I understand, and wants to sell their property. So there's a chance here in the next day or two I'll run back up in that area with somebody else and take a look at the property. Creeks, rivers. Question always is there a solid title to the property, and as well, what's the location? Is it the place that gets flooded a lot? Is it susceptible to some other major issues? We're going to get to, once we get down into the main road area down here. I think that's a public market off to the left there. Once we get down to the main road, it's going to get to be very heavy traffic. These motorbikes, nice thing about them is that they can go down the shoulder of the road or in between the lanes. There's some risk involved, but you do move a lot faster than the other traffic generally. The key is if you arrive alive. That is the important part. Many expats do live up in these areas just north of Cebu City or just south of Cebu City. Up here, Liloan, Consolacion, Compostela, Danao. Go south, you got Talisay, Minglanilla, Karkar. So you can get out of town. Generally, your rent, your cost of living goes down. If you want to travel very much, you might be coming into the bigger city for various reasons, but you can travel pretty cheaply. It doesn't cost you very much to travel. Just takes time. Just takes a little bit of time. And as far as regulations, for a long time, habal, well, they went from being totally banned. You couldn't have two riders on a motorbike, and then some areas decided, well, you need a barrier, plastic barrier between the rider and the passenger, the rider and the driver. And looks like they've pretty much done away with that. I've asked a number of drivers, and they say, no, that's not required anymore. And what you'll find is that the federal government will come up with some suggestions and requirements, and the LGUs, local government units, have some say in setting their own restrictions, requirements, and I have not, since several months ago, I have not seen a motorbike taxi, a habal. Habal means animals having intercourse, I believe. And there's a lack of public transportation. There's a lack of the jeepneys. For a long time, a lot of areas, they wouldn't even allow the tricycles out in many of the areas. So people were walking for hours trying to get to work, if they had work. The big thing, if they had work, and many of them still don't have work. And I've asked many people, taxi drivers, other people I meet on the street, how did you survive since March with no work? And some barangays, some villages handed out 5,000 or 6,000 pesos for them to take care of necessities. Rice. They handed out rice in some areas to different families. And many of them tell me, well, I have a brother. I have my parents have a little store, sorry store. Somebody is making money, and they are supplying the rest of the family, helping the rest of the family out. So here's the main road, going in what I would call the back way, not the old main road. Some point in time, they're going to widen this road, I believe. And it will, heavy truck traffic here, a dusty road, mostly 2-lane till we get to the bridge down here going into Mandaue. and it is very common to use the oncoming traffic lane. I've been up and down this road maybe 5 times over the last 4 years. There's a truck scale for those truckers you. Yes, they do have truck scales here. I've only seen it open once with people weighing there. And there are, at the pier area in Cebu City, there are scales there. People weigh their containers in and out of there. So I think it's required to get a weight ticket there. But once you get out of the city, I think only a couple places right here and one other place in the Philippines in 5 years. I've seen another scale where state-owned, I presume, province-owned, where trucks are supposed to weigh in and out. And had my face mask on, so that helped cut down some of the breathing in some of this dust and pollution along here, which helped a little bit at least, because it was quite dusty. Even as we got up further, it was there apparently was a fire in the area because there was quite a bit of smoke as well, going directly into the sun. But yeah, these motorbikes take, if there's an inch, they take it. They use it in and out of between the lanes, down the shoulder, some areas on the sidewalks, if there's a sidewalk, or the walk path. And there's been some rain up here, so some of the walk paths were a little bit muddy. I saw very few taxis up on this road. Now, if we would have went the other direction, went down to the main road, going through Consolacion, going north all the way to the north end of Cebu Island, we could have caught a taxi down there without too much trouble, I'm pretty sure, or even a bus. Buses run up and down those roads pretty regularly. But this back way was a little bit faster, I believe. Now, I've had a couple subscribers say to me, comment that they wouldn't get on the back of one of these motorbikes, and even though they've had motorbikes in their life, motorcycles, and but anyway, I enjoy the excitement a little bit, the thrill a little bit of the risk. I've rented a couple bikes. I've laid going very slowly on very rough trails and mountains. I've laid them over. I haven't been injured other than a few scrapes, a few bruises. Fortunately, could have been much worse. I know of a number of foreigners who have gotten killed on motorbikes here in the Philippines. I think Thailand actually has one of the highest traffic death rates in the world. So anyway, a little bit of construction going on, and I found out that they're widening a couple of roads even in Cebu City, that very important heavy traffic on 2-lane roads, and they're finally starting to widen some of those roads. So it'll be nice to see that when they get finished. The sun was out. It was a little warm, but with the breeze blowing there, really wasn't that uncomfortable. Holding my camera up above my head was got to be a little bit uncomfortable, but anyway, this is rush hour traffic. I think probably between 4 and 5 p.m. probably, something like that. So a lot of traffic going north and traffic going south into the city as well. This is not the main road, but it does get some heavy traffic. Main road is a couple of kilometers, probably at least a mile or more to the right of us. 4-lane. Virtually, I think it's 4-lane all the way on up into that area. And hopefully in the coming year or two, this will be 4 or 6-lane as well. And this is where it opens up. We're going to go across a river bridge here, and I'm not positive, but that could be the borderline. That river is the border between Liloan and Mandaue, perhaps. Not positive, but generally they use a natural feature like that, a river, a creek, or something, as a border between cities and towns. And I believe that's Mandaue just up ahead of us. Mandaue City, Cebu City are kind of like a twin cities. And if you add Lapu-Lapu across the bridge on Mactan Island, they often call that the Tri-Cities. Cebu City, Mandaue City, and Lapu-Lapu City. Big metropolitan area. Actually, Cebu City's metropolitan area includes these cities to the north, Liloan, Consolacion, and going south includes Talisay, Minglanilla. I'm not sure the metro area if it stretches out further than that or not, but basically that area. I believe there's close to 3 million people in that metro area stretched out. If you're still with me, this is getting to be a little longer video. I thought about dividing it into two, but it is one ride. So if you could click that like button, that sure would help promote the channel a little bit. And always look forward to your comments, suggestions. Got lots of ideas, lots of video for future videos here. Once you get into Mandaue City, Cebu City, there's a taxi there. It's generally pretty easy to get a taxi or to call a Grab car. They got Grab here. Used to have, a few years ago, they had Uber, but Uber had some problems with regulations or something, and Grab bought them out. So we only have Grab here. I think there are a couple other companies looking at coming into the Philippines in the future. At the present time, the present medical situation, there are a lot more taxis than there are passengers because there are no tourists. All the tourists are locked away in their home countries, pretty much. Check out my other 800 plus videos when you get a chance. Anyway, we're going to get off up here. There's a condominium called the Mesa Steps. I've done a video there, and Mayo Medical Center and Hotel just ahead of us. I'm going to get off there, catch a taxi immediately. And anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.